To India now, where authorities are grappling with the fallout of the rape and murder of a doctor in a state hospital in Kolkata. Police have used tear gas and water cannon to disperse protesters decrying unsafe conditions for healthcare workers. Protesters across the nation, many of them striking doctors, have been demanding increased security. DW correspondent Adil Bhat reports now on an uncomfortable reality in India.
Dr. Manjeet Dhiman is leaving her home for a night shift at a local district hospital in Haryana state. In this part of the country, the night is owned by men. Women are nowhere to be seen. The 27-year-old doctor looks for an auto rickshaw to take her to the hospital. In the middle of the night, standing alone on the road can be unsafe. With no rickshaw in sight, she decides to start walking.
I find this street particularly unsafe because there are no streetlights here. You can see for yourself that it's dark. I am wary of the passing vehicles since I have no idea who might be in them or what their intentions are. So for my protection, I carry a pair of scissors with me.
Finally, Manjeet finds a rickshaw. Getting to work at night is not easy for women. The young doctor regularly encounters stalking and sexual harassment on her way to the hospital.
Traveling in small towns is very difficult. Transportation is a problem. Unlike major cities which operate around the clock, most small towns shut down early. And that is when our night duty begins.
Her worries don't end at the hospital as she begins her 12-hour shift. Tonight, Manjeet is in charge of this busy emergency ward, where dozens of patients stream in one after the other. Many government hospitals in India are severely understaffed and under-resourced.
On several occasions, I have felt unsafe on night duty. We don't have a central alarm system that we can use in emergencies. The government is taking some steps, but they are not sufficient.
At Manjeet's hospital, there are no security guards. When patients or their families get angry, health workers are on their own. This man is heckling Manjeet over missing medication. At moments like this, Manjeet can't help but think about the recent rape and murder of a female colleague in Kolkata.
It was horrific to read about the Kolkata incident. I was so scared that I told my mother that I do not want to do night duty anymore, because what happened to her can also happen to me. I was scared and emotional. She is like my sister because we're doctors.
At the end of her night shift, Manjeet heads home. It's still pitch dark outside. A mother, half asleep, waits for her daughter to return home safely.
I'm always worried. I don't sleep at night. I'm constantly restless and on edge, thinking about the safety of my daughter.
Thousands of female doctors across the country continue to work under unsafe conditions, with few or no measures in place to ensure their security. As Manjeet talks about her night, she tries to reassure her mother, but they both know sometimes it's simply not safe to be a woman in India.
Adil Bhat filed that report and joins us now live. Adil, how widespread is violence against female health workers?
Ben, well, the
Violence against female healthcare workers in India is quite widespread. Every day we see some kind of report coming in that tells us that there is some sexual violence case happening in some part of the country. And there is some data that suggests that 70% of the female healthcare workers inside hospitals have faced some form of abuse or any kind of sexual harassment. So it's a daily struggle for a woman who's working, especially we're talking about female healthcare workers in India. But their struggle doesn't end when it comes to sexual violence question. They also face a lot of attacks from angry attendants if they treat patients like they can, and then the ward didn't survive. They can face attacks from patients' relatives as well. But this kind of problem is quite ramped in rural areas. We traveled to rural area in the state of Haryana where we followed one doctor that, as you have seen in the report, we tried to document and navigate the fears that she's witnessing on the streets. And she did share some kind of experience with us when she goes from home to hospital. Not a one day goes when she doesn't witness any kind of teasing, sexual harassment, or some form of stalking. So women, usually in female healthcare worker, they face it a lot, but in rural areas it's getting worse because there are no cabs available. So for them, they have to take these small rickshaws and they have to kind of struggle and face these kind of problems and then these everyday struggle that they have to face.
So what did the doctor tell you needs to change in India?
I mean, she told me a lot of things have to change for them when it comes to the question of safety and security inside the hospitals. And one thing that she told me that hospitals in rural areas, we're talking about outskirts of Delhi, they are not safe for women. Now, after this Kolkata rape incident, where a 31-year-old young trainee was murdered and raped, she had this fear psychosis. Even in the hospital, she doesn't feel safe. And there are lack of facilities. There are, in many hospitals in Haryana and other states, they don't have CCTV cameras. When we were following this character inside the hospital, I made sure to check if there are security guards inside the hospital to guard it. There were angry or large number of patients coming in, but nobody was there to protect them. So there are no safe spaces where they can take rest. They work for 6-8 hours every day, but they don't have space to take rest. So it's a lot of now they're demanding better safe places. They're demanding CCTV cameras. They have a list of demands, but we have to wait and watch if it will be met. But I did speak with other doctors. They said that government is working, taking some steps. There are now reports coming in that in some hospitals in Haryana, there are some security guards now at even smaller places.
And what about these ongoing protests? What are the demonstrators demanding? So, if you see in Kolkata right now, we're witnessing scene of chaos. Angry protesters are on the streets. This protest, especially we're talking about today, these are student body protests. They're demanding the resignation of Chief Minister of the state of West Bengal. They're saying that she needs to resign because she was not able to give she wasn't able to provide justice quickly to the victim. And they're also demanding justice for this victim also. But opposition political parties, Congress, even the Trinamool Congress party, which is in power, they're saying there is some connection with the BJP they are involved in. That's why we see there is a lot of tension between protesters and clashes taking place between protesters and the student body organization. There are reports also coming in that this student body did not exist 2 weeks before. Suddenly they have come up, they want to create kind of a political chaos and also force Chief Minister of the state to resign. Now, Ben, what has happened? There are many protesters, doctors, who are really upset about this political bickering that's taking place. They do not want to politicize this rape incident, but it's happening in the state of West Bengal, where political parties are getting involved and trying to politicize it. And now we see this chaos on the streets where many protesters are injured. Some of them now police is using tear gases, police is using water cannons to stop them. It's a pretty utter chaos what's happening on the streets of Kolkata. The very latest there from Adil, Bhat, our reporter in Delhi. Thank you very much.
Let's explore some of these issues with Dr. Arjun Dasgupta, who's a rhinologist and surgeon based in Calcutta. He also campaigns for women's rights and women's safety. Welcome to DW. How widespread a problem is this?
It's very widespread. It's not just only about the doctors. It's about the women who are working. It's about your workplace safety for all women. And if a doctor is attacked in a hospital, a government hospital, in the middle of Calcutta, which is a busy street, and it's a huge hospital, which around 1,000 beds, and there is police posted over there, and there is about probably 500 people working in that hospital that night, and it all happened around them. So that makes things very scary. You know, that hospitals are sanctum sanctorum. You know, you don't touch a hospital. And in the middle of the hospital, this happened, where we think that we are safe. You know, I have a daughter, and when she works in the night, when I get a call that she's working, okay, she's she's there, she's in an institution, and she must be safe in her workplace. All these things that we assume has been shattered, and obviously people are very, very anxious and
okay,
angry.
So let's pick that point up then. So given the dangers, why do you believe that the government appears not to be taking this issue seriously?
I mean, the whole point is the government came up with a knee-jerk reaction, and they came up with a set of rules for the woman working in the night. And these are very well and fine rules that for increased safety of the woman.
Let me just interrupt you there. So, in response to a woman being attacked and this rape incident, the government came up with rules that women must obey rather than doing actually anything about the dangerous situations.
Absolutely, that's the most dangerous thing. I mean, let me be honest, there is about 10 or 12 points that the government came up with, and most of them are quite welcome moves. But 2 points in there is one which went against, and we said that the woman should not be doing night duties, or if they do, they should do it in pairs. That has infuriated the woman. And you don't probably haven't, whether you're heard of it or not, on 14th of August, and the 15th of August is our Independence Day. The 14th of August in Calcutta and all over Bengal, I mean, lakhs and I mean, like millions of girls came out in the middle of the night, in the stroke of midnight, and did claim the night, reclaim the night. And they came in droves with slogans, with candles, with national flags. And they said that they own the nights. And the girl should be doing whatever they are doing. Whatever you want to do, you do. It may be a police woman, it may be a journalist, it may be a doctor, it may be a lawyer. And it's our job as a society, as politicians and doctors and lawmakers and the court, they should ensure that there is a working condition. And if there is a crime, the criminals are caught and punished with the severest form of law that there is. They should face the law.
Okay,
and that should be the role of the society.
Thank you for talking us through that, Doctor. Women's safety campaigner, Dr. Arjun Dasgupta. Thank you so much.